You know what I'm hearing? You have mirrored certain people so perfectly. They couldn't quite get what they wanted. These were people that were feeding off of the reflection of other people. By that I mean they were feeding off of not just insecurity, but in some ways they were feeding off of people's passion, their strength, their desire to be vulnerable. And the mirror that you're exuding right now, the way that you're moving right now, is blank. There's a blank nature of the mirror that you are. And a lot of people have tried to entrap you in their shadow because of this. They felt like a sense of safety was in your presence. But not only that, the safety came from them feeling like they can breathe. But that doesn't last long, because this blank slate of a mirror eventually reflects to them the element of themselves that they've been projecting onto other people and getting along. I've been hearing birds of the same feather flock together. There could be people who have sort of cluttered around, not intentionally, but for some of you, these are intentional. They've kind of gathered around, whether it be in your workplace, in your family, in your friend groups, just wherever you show up frequently. There is this energy of gathering around, hoping that this reflection, this mirror that you are, cracks. But it's funny because these people are searching themselves through you. They're standing around hoping that you would reflect to them something familiar, whether it be trying to probe you for drama or feeling a sense of closeness to you when they feel like you are entering a box or matching an energy that they can feel comfortable about, that they feel like they have access to. But you haven't been doing that. A lot of you have entered this unfazed, unbothered, and genuinely compassionate phase where your compassion isn't actually acting like a trespass to you. And a lot of people feel this energy closed off to them. What I'm hearing is something so incredible. The sacrifices that you've made in order to preserve your spirit, while you witnessed people, quite literally, for some of you, selling their soul or sacrificing the sanctity of their spirit in order to entrap you in their shadow or in their timeline, whether it be using ritual abuse or just truly abusing you, either through spells or through lies, through manipulation, through overpowering you, trying to dominate your spirit. However they tried to do it, when you sacrificed the hopes and the dreams and the promises that may have been given to you by these people, whether it be relational, these people talking about showing up for you or mirroring you, right? The version of you that they feel like they can see or put their hands on, mirroring that, even though it doesn't last. That's the thing about being kind of like a black mirror that you are. It's only reflecting to these people what they feel like they need at that time. But at the end of the day, there is an unsearchable quality about you because it is rooted in source. So when that latch fails to capture you, these people turn against you and they sacrifice things that shouldn't be sacrificed, their conscience, their time and effort. But for some of you, this isn't for everyone, but for some of you, these people sacrificed the energy, the essence, the money, the fortune that they gained through you. They sacrificed that. Just sit with me for a second and imagine this. Imagine someone using the fortune, the money, the essence that was drawn into their timeline, into their life through you, in order to use that to pay off or group up with people who are trying to bully you and harm you so that they can trap you back into that old timeline. This is a type of trespassing that spirit is not turning a blind eye to. This is a level of pride and arrogance that is being checked at the door at this time. And it's happening because of this detachment, this energy of truly knowing the difference between what people are projecting onto you and what truly belongs to you. This portal, I'm talking to people who have already understood what has happened. They've understood what role they play, and they've separated or unhooked themselves from the projection of people about them. So people have tried to make you hold a projection about you because they couldn't put their finger on you. This is the energy that you have dropped, and you have allowed the mirror to darken, to be a reflection of only them, not something that they can put into you, implant into you, and live through. And when I say a lot of people are suffering, you might see some people throwing a tantrum or trying to get your attention in some way, whether it be directly or indirectly, because the gates are closed. The door is closed. They seem to be searching, and I've made a video previously to this one. Check it out, because it's one of those videos that only resonates with a select few of you. And I feel like that has poured into this one as well. So check it out for a deeper understanding, especially if you're called to understand deeper about your ancestors or about how these people ended up, what they were doing in the shadow, and how they ended up being uncovered. Check that out. But what I'm hearing is that they're searching for you in several timelines. And these are timelines that you were living very close to when you were with them. Meaning that was the timeline that they were projecting onto you because they had access to what they felt like you wanted in your life. They have a way of pulling that out and putting it on a TV screen, for example, so that you can sort of play in the shadows and fantasize about what truly belongs to you. But the only reason they have pulled out that timeline to show it to you is because that is the only thing that would make you stick around with them. And since they can't do that, all those projections that they have used against you, all that timeline that belonged to you, that destiny, whatever you want to call it, that belongs to you, is playing out right now. You might be experiencing a lot of deja vu. If you are, this is for you. If you are experiencing a sense of like nervousness or excitement and having a clear perspective of what the future is, but at the same time feeling a sense of like a need to rest or a sense of fogginess about it, but there's a clarity and knowing in your spirit, that fogginess is the timeline that they have braided into yours, that timeline breaking away. It's almost like you're stepping out of a cocoon, like a butterfly. This is monarch season. This is a season where all the stuff that you have contemplated on, that you've marinated in, is going to break out, and you're going to see the fruits. That not just the fruit, but you're going to be able to access yourself on a deeper level. And if you haven't been able to like function in the way that you have before, this is a sign that you're integrating into the timeline that was originally yours. There are people out there who are timeline thieves. Like, there are people out there who have made it their business because of the awakening that has happened on a collective level. There's always going to be a shadow group, a group that uses the understanding of nature, herbs, of, manifestation, of transmutation. They're going to use that in a shadow element. And there's a beacon out there for chosen ones who are still kind of interwoven with the karmic timeline, and they're not understanding the magnitude of their power, even though they know it. And that knowing acts like a beacon for these people, where it draws them into you. And what they do from that point on is they try to hook into you by mimicking you, whatever they can find right there and then, even though you're ever changing. And that's why the Most High made you that way, ever changing, your passion's constantly changing. It's a protection. It's a protection from these people, for them to not be able to mimic you for a long period of time. But they still try. They still come at you. They mimic that initial reflection that they see and the timeline that is in your knowing, in your DNA, coded into you. They grab a hold of that and they repeat it to you. They tell you, well, I've been working on this. I see this in you. But when they say that, you're going to see something in their eyes that you can't quite reconcile. You're going to see something in their eyes, an emptiness, a blankness, a flicker of envy, a jealous, something, a flicker of something. And if you can't quite reconcile it, if you can't quite see through the words that they're saying and truly feel like they're not looking at you, but they're bounded or bound to the timeline that they're talking about, if you can't feel that, these are people who have made it their mission and job to be a karmic, a purposeful karmic, not one of those blind karmics. We're not dealing with that anymore. We're dealing with people who have made it a business, a living, to capture chosen ones and to siphon and drain their essence for their benefit. Whatever their benefit is, nobody cares, but that's what they're doing. So what you're experiencing right now is going to be the true timeline, especially if you are a person who feels like you have given up on some dreams, certain things have been put in pause, and you had to bargain and wager, if you had to sacrifice your dream, whatever it is, your calling, something that you felt like was a calling to you, if you felt like you had to sacrifice that or put it on a scale to say it's either this or them, if you had to make a very difficult choice like that, and you made the choice of choosing your soul, the timeline that was suspended or that was cloaked is playing out right now. And you're going to see almost a version of these frauds, these people being replaced by the true souls. We are in some way living in a Truman-like show where there's a lot of empty shells, a lot of frauds, a lot of false, quote, prophets. That's what I believe it means in the Bible when it says there's a lot of false prophets out there. These people that are making you suffer, those of you who have reached out to me, specifically because you resonate with these videos that I make, these specific videos, I'm talking to you. They have made it their mission to properly organize themselves around you in order to put you in a Truman Show, select you and to put you in a sort of like a chamber where there is no sound coming in and there's no sound going out. The only way to break through that chamber is to understand and see them for what they are. They are mimickers. They are a fraudulent energy that is mimicking what they first glanced off of you. That the aura, the energy that is surrounding you. Because time doesn't exist, okay? I'm not trying to touch on everything in this video, but time does not exist. So everything you have already become is right here with you. You know, there is no separation. So these dark forces dwelling in these people, hosting these people, can see you. They can see you in your fullest form. That is what they're after. They're after you sitting in delusion. And it doesn't just impact you. It impacts everyone because we're connected. If all of us are in anchoring that true timeline, and there is no fraudulent energy being able to pierce through because they're so much weaker than you. I need you to understand that. You wield more power in your pinky than they do in 400 bodies. I'm not making this up. That is how powerful you are. An ounce of realization that you have reverberates and shatters and cracks hundreds of years of work that they have put in order to keep you bound. It doesn't just impact you. It impacts the timeline that is out there. The one that we are all suffering to anchor. That golden era, the golden age. It isn't a lie. It exists. And these people That is why they're masquerading and they can't find you. A lot of you have broken through the surface. And when I tell you there is a rage, there's a rage in these people, and they're dotted all across your life. There isn't going to be a place that you go where at least one of them isn't present. Whether it be those far off handlers where you don't even know who they are. They're just on the phone, they're just kind of hanging out, but the energy doesn't lie. If you feel like you need to see them and something about them, you're not making it up. The energy doesn't lie. It's in their frequency. They are supposed to follow you around. They're making sure they're keeping track. And when I say a lot of you have broken through the surface, the energy that I'm picking up on, the kind of mirror that you are, is like a black mirror. It's not something that reflects to these people what is in your timeline because it's been shielded and gated away from them. The only thing it reflects to them is the fact that you see them. That's what's happening. That's what's making these people freak the hell out. And for some of you, it's so strange because it's going to feel like you're living in two different worlds. These people, even if they come to the location, right, that they've known you in, that you've lived in, you won't be there. It's quite strange. You won't be there. It's almost like we are truly living in a multidimensional world. You won't be there. Just like you couldn't shake them, their presence, no matter what you did in the past, until you come to that realization, right? You had opened the door for them. You have to understand how powerful you are. You had opened even a crack of the door, a tiny little window, a tiny little square window, whatever window it is. If you have even opened that because the energy of doubt or the energy of like, maybe I'm overthinking what this person is doing. That's all they need. That's all they need to try to put a tiny little hook in you so they can follow you around energetically. That's all they need. But when you seal everything and all they're receiving is a true and exact reflection of no, I know what I am. I know who I am. Even if I don't have the understanding of it, I know it. You came knowing it. It's just a process of remembering. When you're reflecting that to them, the only thing they'll be able to see is the light that they can't quite understand and they cannot stand in its presence. So some people you're gonna notice it. They're either going to vanish or they're going to be very uncomfortable in your presence. Very uncomfortable. You're gonna feel their energy begging to let them in. Begging to let them in, not because they feel like they have the power to take from you, but because they feel like it's so agonizing to just stand beside you. It's agonizing to just stand beside you, knowing that there is no crack, there's no sliver open. Because that is how they've been bypassing. That is how they have been manifesting, or more so, preserving their darkness and feeling like it is sustainable on this plane. That is the only way. It's because they were hosting it in you. They were sort of like incubating it in you. You are the door. That's what I'm hearing. You are the door. And they cannot incubate their darkness. They can't function. They will literally sizzle out of the person that they're in when there is no host, meaning there is no extra host. A lot of these people are weakened. And you know what I'm getting? They could die. And it's not because of a negative thing. It's because they've died a long time ago. Their body has just been holding on because they were hosted by these beings. But they're going to die. Not because it's negative. A lot of people are going to just pass away. Because they weren't even there. Their soul was fragmented somewhere else. And they've been living somewhere else. And that's what you might have seen. You might have seen a figment of them in the beginning. And you grabbed a hold of that. And you tried to save that. Don't save it. It's not your job. It was never your job. Your job was to keep the mirror sealed. You are the mirror. You were supposed to keep it sealed. You're going to, and you have, and you are keeping it sealed. And that is how you're going to extract them from these people. And if there are people that are out there that can still be salvaged and saved, they're going to come through They're going to come through almost like a fever, like they had been in this dream. You're going to notice people who are either extra vulnerable around you, or they just kind of came out of their shell out of nowhere. It's all because of you. We are so connected in that way. I really hope this message got you in time, and I do believe it is reaching those who is intended to reach. I truly believe that. Always remember that knowing inside you. Follow it. Follow it. Because these energies have been opening gates in your name. That is the only signature, that is the only pass that the Most High has given them, is even a window and access through you. Without that, they are null and void. They're going to leave this planet in droves. As usual, I don't reach out. Those are scammers. Everything you need to know is in the description box down below. I got so serious, I forgot my notes. Until next time, everyone, I love you.